Ah yes, centralish vowels, which include I and for some godforsaken reason.
Like this. Actually, you could probably even get away with something like this.
Jan Measley, why would you suggest a 3-vowel system for an English-based IAL? What the heck is wrong with you? Saying the glottal fricative as a sigh is an underrated joke, like their revised romanization. It's mostly tolerable, but why the heck would you use C for shla? Ah yes, Ikide, the language of extreme Islamophobia. Isn't a bad episode, but I can't help but think about this language's Islamophobia. Conlang Certic. This timestamp is just Jan Measley pronounced, so when Kihara puts in every sound they can pronounce, that's fine, but when Billy Ray Walden... Ian's Tales profile picture is free serotonin, We go from the episode of young Jan Measley ignoring the word for Islam in Ikide to the episode where Jan Measley casually says that one slur relating to Inuit peoples. Definitely could have sounded more alien, but I think given the time period it was made in, the phonology gets the job done, at least with the consonants. The vowels could have sounded infinitely more cursed. As you literally changed the phonology! And even then, you called an inventory with the voiceless velar affricates ka normal. The chart also goes out of its way to make the phonology seem more symmetrical than it actually is. Klingon's consonants would be more accurately transcribed like this.
The thing I think is the least excusable about Esperanto's vocabulary is the inconsistent way it handles toponyms.
Even more than the sexism? If I had a nickel for every time Jan Measley deemed toponyms more important than not being sexist, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. Jan Measley goes through the consonants here at the speed of light.
Lojban removed the dental fricative, which makes sense because it's only like in a 25th of all languages, and added the glottal stop, which doesn't make sense because it's in less than like 9/20ths of all languages.
Ah yes, it makes absolutely no sense to add a sound in nearly half of all documented natural languages.
Artlang and therefore be immune to this sort of phonological criticism? Well, this is something I haven't done a great job explaining, but my classification of conlangs into interlangs and artlangs is almost completely arbitrary. Internationality doesn't need to be the primary goal of a conlang for me to count it as an interlang.
Imagine not temporarily joining their Patreon for the sole purpose of research. Coward.
The Is language's vowels are
Ah yes, schwa, my favorite close vowel. Also, why not label the diphthongs in their own row instead of clunkily fitting them in with the monophthongs? Or do the thing of having a separate chart for diphthongs like the majority of other episodes?
I know it's hard to tell, but if you look closely, you just might notice that the letter of the Is alphabet that represents this sound happens to be exactly the same thing as the corresponding letter of the International Phonetic Alphabet.
Why the heck does it say I? Okay, I looked it up and that's not the Latin letter I. That's Cherokee syllable Here are all the other Cherokee syllables with that vowel because why the heck not?
Is written, I kid you not, with the number 2.
This is the only Conlang Critic episode with a dog in it, so that's how you know it's good.
Buried somewhere in one of his Patreon posts.
Imagine not temporarily joining their Patreon for the sole purpose of research. Coward.
His vowels are,
Ah yes, schwa, my favorite close vowel. Why the heck does it say I? Okay, I looked it up and that's not the Latin letter I. That's Cherokee syllable Here are all the other Cherokee syllables with that vowel because why the heck not? In other words, if Jan Measley is too mean to lead Apela, I will go cry for 13 hours.
Indicate some information about what phonemes they represent. Every single linguistics YouTuber has made a video about this topic.
Oh, I guess I'm not a real linguistics YouTuber then. Okay, Imposter Syndrome, you win this round. Highly compressed David J. Peterson jump scare.
Where I'll be reviewing Bliss Symbolics.
Joke's on you! There'll never be a next time! That said, I'd say I like this episode more than the Folksbrock episode, but not as much as I like the English one, making this the 16th best Conlang Critic episode reviewed so far. This is the part of the episode where I'm supposed to give a score. However, the system that I've decided to use for Conlang Critic doesn't give Conlang Critics numerical scores, but instead ranks them. Of course, since this is the first Conlang Critic I've reviewed, I can't compare them to any others. That in mind, Jan Measley is the best Conlang Critic reviewed so far. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time where I'll be reviewing nothing because I'm not making another episode of Conlang Critic.